At 93 years old, Angie Dickinson, one of Hollywood's most captivating leading ladies, finally broke her silence about the legendary Western star Randolph Scott. For decades, her career has stood as a bridge between the golden era of cinema and modern television. But this time, the story wasn't about her roles. It was about a man who left a lasting mark on her life and her craft. Born Angeline Brown on September 30th, 1931, in the small town of Cullum, North Dakota, Angie grew up in a close-knit family of German heritage. Her upbringing was defined by modesty, discipline, and strong Midwestern values. Her father, Leo Henry Brown, worked as a newspaper editor and publisher, a profession that inspired in her a lifelong appreciation for language and storytelling. Her mother, Frederica, balanced that influence by nurturing her daughter's grace, determination, and inner strength. When the Brown family relocated to Burbank, California, Angie's world opened up. She went from quiet plains to a place that buzzed with movie studios and dreams of stardom. Interestingly, show business wasn't part of her initial plan. She studied at Glendale Community College and later Immaculate Heart College in Los Angeles, earning a business degree and setting her sights on writing or editing. But Hollywood had other intentions. Her path to fame began unexpectedly. After entering a local beauty pageant, Angie's poise and striking beauty caught the attention of casting directors. She became a finalist in the Miss America preliminary contests, and this exposure led to early television and film roles. Determined to prove she was more than a pretty face, she threw herself into acting. Her breakthrough came in 1959 with the Howard Hawks classic Rio Bravo, starring opposite John Wayne, Dean Martin, and Ricky Nelson. As the sharp, seductive Feathers, Angie delivered a performance that radiated wit, strength, and charm. She not only held her ground among Hollywood giants, but stole scenes with her effortless charisma. This role marked the beginning of a career that would make her a household name. Unlike many actresses of her era who became typecast, Dickinson thrived across genres. During the 1960s and 1970s, she appeared in a string of successful films: Ocean's 11, 1960, with the Rat Pack; The Killers, 1964, alongside Lee Marvin; The Chase, 1966, with Marlon Brando; and Point Blank, 1967, again with Marvin. She exuded both sensuality and strength, a rare balance that made her unforgettable on screen. But it was television that transformed her into a cultural icon. In 1974, she starred in Policewoman, portraying Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson, an undercover cop who combined toughness, intellect, and empathy. Running for 4 seasons, the series broke new ground by featuring a woman in a lead law enforcement role. Her performance inspired women across the country to pursue careers in policing and earned her a Golden Globe Award, along with multiple Emmy nominations. Angie didn't just act, she changed the narrative for women on television. Behind the glamour, Angie's personal story was equally layered. Her first marriage, to Jean Dickinson in 1952, began during her early Hollywood years. Jean, a former college football player turned electronics professional, was charming and ambitious. Their union initially seemed promising, but the demands of her rising career strained their relationship. They separated in 1956 and divorced in 1960. During this period, Angie cultivated friendships with influential thinkers like John Kenneth Galbraith, the famed economist, and his wife Catherine. She visited them frequently, even traveling to India while Galbraith served as U.S. ambassador. Experiences that broadened her worldview far beyond Hollywood's glitz. After her divorce, she kept the surname Dickinson, which became synonymous with elegance and strength in Hollywood. Then in 1965, she found love again with the celebrated composer Burt Bacharach. He was a musical genius. She was one of cinema's most glamorous stars. Their marriage was a union of art and fame, filled with both passion and challenges. They welcomed their daughter Nikki on July 12, 1966. Nikki, diagnosed with autism at a time when it was poorly understood, became the center of Angie's world. Angie devoted herself to her daughter's care with unwavering love. Nikki's passing in 2007 at age 40 was a heartbreak from which Angie never fully recovered. Through it all, Angie remained discreet about many of her Hollywood experiences. But at 93, she finally opened up about working with Randolph Scott, one of the defining figures of the Western genre. Known for her candor, she spoke with warmth and respect. Randolph Scott was the definition of a professional, Angie said, her voice tinged with both admiration and nostalgia. He had a quiet power, magnetic but never overbearing. Everyone on set felt valued around him. She recalled moments from their time together, including a day when production tensions ran high. Scott, without a word of complaint, lightened the atmosphere simply through his presence and good humor. He led with kindness, she said. He didn't need to demand respect, he earned it. Angie also reflected on what it meant to work in Hollywood during the studio system's golden era. Actors like Scott operated within strict hierarchies and unspoken codes, yet he balanced that environment with decency and generosity. Working with Randolph was thrilling and intimidating, she admitted. You knew you were alongside a master. But he never made you feel small. He encouraged you to rise to his level. She also addressed the inevitable myths that follow legends like Scott. There are always stories, some true, some exaggerated, she said thoughtfully. All I can say is the man I knew was genuine. He cared about people and about his craft. Angie Dickinson's decision to speak about Randolph Scott after a lifetime in the industry is more than a nostalgic recollection. It's a gift to history. First-hand accounts of Hollywood's golden era are becoming rare. Her memories offer a valuable, humanizing perspective on a man whose image loomed large on the silver screen. I think it's important to remember the people who shaped us, she reflected. Randolph Scott was one of those people for me. This feels like the right time to pay tribute, not just to his fame, but to his character. Her words remind us that behind the glamour and legends are real human stories, stories of respect, craft, and quiet influence. At 93, Angie Dickinson continues to shine, not just as a performer, but as a living link to a cinematic past that shaped generations.